My name is Naveed Shahabadi, and the man to my right is one of the top up-and-coming prospects from Toronto, Canada, one of the most unselfish, talented point guards, Shemar Rathan. And joined by me is his mother, one of the most supportive support systems that I've ever witnessed as I've gotten to know her. Her name is also Marilyn. So recently, you made a very important decision. Please let the viewers know at home what the decision was and how you came about making that decision.
I've decided to go to Huntington Prep down in West Virginia, and I decided to do that because knowing that my brother has gone there, he's kind of carved the path for me. I just like to go over there and live up to being Xavier Tanmay's little brother, and I just want to show and let them know that I can play ball too.
Now, you said something very important. You said you want to live up to being Xavier's little brother. However, watching you play, I don't think it's giving you or him the right amount of credit when you say you're his little brother, because your games are different.
Right.
So when people say that to you, what do you have to say to them? Do you kind of try to craft your game around how he plays, or do you have your own style that you play?
I don't like to follow his game at all. I have a completely different game. I like to drive. I like the contact. I like to try to bang on people. That's who I am as a player. My brother is more of a finesse player. He likes to shoot. He likes the high finger roll layups and all that stuff. I'm more of an aggressor. I like to get my teammates involved. That's the only comparison.
You've been there from day one watching both of them grow up. Watching X and now watching Shemar, how would you say from your perspective, if it's their work ethic, their approach, their game itself, how are they different?
Crazy thing is, I get a lot of the same question, who do you think is better, Shim or X? And my answer to that is, they're completely different players. Shemar is a point guard, X was a shooting guard, and is now being transformed into a combo guard. X was, like Shemar is stating, a finesse shooter. He loved to shoot on the perimeter line. Shemar loves to attack the basket. The other thing with Shemar is he's very unselfish. He looks to get all his teammates involved. Sometimes some of the rap is he's too unselfish. And I think as his game is developing, he's starting to even out with passing the ball as well as getting his.
I feel like when I'm watching you play, you are too unselfish at some times. Who do you try to craft your game around watching NBA guys where when you watch them, you're like, you know what, that guy's unselfish. I like the way he plays. I want to play just like him. Who are those guys for you?
The guy I really look up to, there's two. Steve Nash, because he's a Canadian, I like to look up to him. I'm Canadian, and Chris Paul, being in the league right now. Chris Paul, he has two really athletic big men, DeAndre George and Blake Griffin, and that goes along with me too. I have a very athletic big man on my team, so being able to throw it up at the hoop or dish it down for a pick and roll, it's really easy for me to get my assists. So there's no problem with being unselfish if they score the ball.
Moving away from crafting your game to why you play the game, because 5 years ago, I sat with your older brother, Xavier, and I asked him, X, why do you play basketball? And he looked at me and he said,
one day be able to buy my mom a big house and get her whatever she wants.
So why do you play basketball?
Well, that's already a given. I mean, X is already at that stage where he can get that done. So now it's like about me being different. And what I want to do is, besides providing for my family, I want to be the next point guard that the younger kids could look up to. Like, they look up to the Steve Nashes, the Rondos, Steph Currys, all those great legends. And eventually when they move on, I want to be the next player. And I want to let them know that assists are a really big part of basketball. Scoring the bucket doesn't really, it affects the game, but doing other things also affects the game too.
Now, as he looks to grow and get better as a player and go through the process that Xavier went through a couple years ago, what did you learn throughout that process that now you're using for him now that he's going to be going through the same exact process?
If I was to pick one thing that was huge for me and I've learned with Xavier and now Shemar going through it is the recruitment process. Moving into high school, when Xavier went to Huntington, he had to deal with all the coaches on his phone. And I think that can become very bothersome for the player itself. It kind of takes away from their game. And I've learned so much from that, like Shemar and I have spoken about it, that any coaches try to contact you for anything, you're to send the mummies away. You just deal with the game, you just play ball, and I'll handle the rest on the outside.
Everyone sees you, they see what you can do on the court, and if they haven't, they're going to in the next couple of years. But if you weren't playing basketball, I know your dream job is to be an NBA player, what else would you be doing?
I really want to be a teacher, right? I feel like teaching other people life lessons besides basketball is something that puts a smile on my face. Like I like to have people look up to me and be a positive role model. So if basketball doesn't work out, I like to be some sort of teacher. It doesn't have to be in the classroom. It can be outside the classroom.
Walk us through game days for you. You wake up in the morning knowing that game's coming up. What's your prep look like?
First thing I do before every game day is shower. I like to have a real long shower, and then that gets me going. And then, of course, I stretch. I like to listen to my music. I listen to J. Cole, Young Thug. Those guys get me focused. And then I start off shooting from real close, right under the basket. Take steps out, and then eventually I get the 3-point line, and then I'll start doing my layups and attacking the rim and stuff like that, and then it gets me ready for gameplay.
Let us know. What's with the hairstyle? Because George Hill, he has something similar to this. Is there a motivation behind this kind of hairstyle, or is you just go with the flow?
To be honest, I've had this hair from about 2 years ago.
So George Hill is copying you.
I believe so, right? And I dyed it when it was really short, and I just let it grow out, and it was really big, and my mom told me to cut it. So I cut it, and I don't really like how it looks, so I'm growing it back out again. And then we'll see where that takes me. Maybe I can braid it. I want to be different because everyone wants to dye their hair now, right? So.
And everyone wants to look like you, obviously, with George Hill, with what he's doing. 5 years ago, I asked you, what would you say to parents about their son leaving at a young age and going to prep school in the U.S.?
I think parents who are considering sending their kids abroad, I think it's the best thing. The reason I say that, the younger they are as they get older, it's easier for them to adapt.
Take on it has always been that when you send them off, it helps them mature, it helps them grow up. Mommy's not there to attend to them. And then on the basketball level, it's not that you can't play out here against great competition, but you're going to play on a much higher level when you go to the States. The States is so much bigger than Canada. You're going to play the top academies out there, and the exposure is just awesome.
5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I see myself at the highest. I see myself in NCAA at the highest level of play. Obviously, I'm already matured. I'm just advancing my game, becoming a better player. So I see myself.
Now, as you go to Huntington Prep next year, and this summer you're going to be playing AAU basketball, why should college coaches recruit you? What do you bring to the table other than basketball? Because when you're going down to play at Huntington, you're playing against the top players, so you're going to be obviously there competing with them. But why should they come and recruit you?
I think they should come and recruit me because I'm a great student athlete, and student comes before the athlete. And that starts in the classroom, and I'm always on top of my assignments. If it means I have to get my assignments done and less sleep, that's what it takes because I need to get my marks. And coaches never have to worry about that. So I think that's what separates me from other players.
If you guys are watching at home, what he said is he will take care of his academics. Because as we see year in and year out, the top players come. They could be NBA first-round draft picks, and we keep seeing it. They're academic and eligible. So as you heard it here, he's going to take his academics seriously. I want to thank you for stopping by and talking to me today. We're going to keep close tabs on you as the summer comes and as you go down and play in the U.S. And obviously, you're in amazing hands. So whatever you do, make sure you give her the thanks because the struggles they're going to, and she is, to make sure that you succeed, can't go unnoticed. But thanks for stopping by, and I want to wish you the most amount of luck.